Will you fight for them is the title of this particular talk, if you like. Will you fight for them? Will you fight for them? Will you fight on the beaches, fight on the land, fight for them? I'm talking here about your customers. Will you fight for them or will you adapt is the question here. We're about to approach boom times. I was dealing with some people in the States on Friday night, and the US is about to head into one of its biggest growth spurts it's seen for a long time in GDP. And the people are predicting here in the UK an 8-9% growth in GDP in the next sort of year. There's pent up demand, there's lots of cash. Consumers have got a lot of cash and the willingness to spend it too. And that's going to fuel the boom times, and therefore the economy is going to be very, very buoyant. And if you can supply, you will be able to satisfy the demand. It's whether you can't supply or not, which you won't be able to satisfy. And I've been talking to a lot of mortgage brokers over the last few months, and they are inundated. They're frazzled. They're completely exhausted. And many of them saying, can't keep this amount of business going on all the time. And one guy I was talking to, I said, well, how do you do it? He said, well, I'm in the car still, driving to people's gardens and talking to people face to face. We've got our offices opening up, so we'll get people into our offices. And I thought, well, that's great. That's the old model. Will you be able to cope with demand if that's all you operate? You see, if you operate the same business model, your customers that you want to fight for might not be there for you. Because are you wanting to adapt or adapt to them? Let me give you a couple of examples of what I mean by that. Are you willing to adapt? Because your customers are still there, and there's more customers coming through. But if you're just going to provide the same old way of operating, will they still want you? Or will they move to somebody else? Now, I'll give you a few examples. We use Tesco's. Tesco's, the shopping, huge conglomerate to buy our foods and things. So before the pandemic, we used to buy everything from Tesco's. Now we buy a few things from Tesco's once a month. But we have the milkman do delivery. We have a local vegetable shop delivery as well, and we have the easy enough to walk up to the road to local shops. Okay, we choose to do that. That's fine, and I'm not knocking people that don't. But Tesco's haven't really adapted to that. They're still doing their same old model. They're doing a really good delivery service, don't get me wrong, but they've done that before anyway. BBC can't be doing with the BBC anymore. Lost patience with the BBC. We don't watch so much anymore. Okay, we watch Line of Duty, I'll give you that one. But we watch more Netflix and we watch BritBox, all sorts of other streaming channels, rather than queuing up to watch the BBC. The BBC hasn't changed. They still do the same thing. Yes, they're part of BritBox, making a bit of money that way, but their channel system hasn't changed. It's still the very much old channel system. News is still there. They still bring out Laura Koonsberg, who gives her thoughts about Boris and the decorating scandal and all that kind of stuff as well. So we moved away from BBC. Florists. We've moved away from local florists, and we use this company called Bloom and Wild, who deliver flowers in a revolutionary way. It's brilliant what they do. Good price, and they post it as well. And the flowers last for weeks, much more than traditional florists do. Again, they haven't changed. The gym. I've not used the gym obviously since lockdown. I've converted a spare room up there into a home gym. Got quite used to it now. Pretty much do what I did in the gym. I use the Lido for swimming now. They've opened up, so I do that a lot more. Again, not everybody has a spare room. I get that. I'm not that stupid. But that's what we choose to do. The gym hasn't changed. In fact, they've been closed for most of the time. The car. We've got a car outside there. Never used it. Same old car, same old combustion engine, but now we're using e-scooters. Got those around town now, little e-scooters, get on your app. And we're walking more places to local shopping now as well. I'm using my bike more than before. I've only done 5,000 miles on that car for 2 years. Normally I'd do 20, 30,000 miles now. Again, car manufacturers haven't changed. Okay, they're going electric, I get that, but the whole concept hasn't changed either. Training, delivery, there's people yearning to get back in the classroom again. They still want to wheel people in at 9:30, give them biscuits and a coffee and run an icebreaker just to wake them up. They still want to do that rather than going to the virtual training model, the video model, which is what we're doing here now is how we're operating. Again, I've changed, the customer has changed. Have you changed? That's the key message here. As a mortgage advisor, mortgage broker, whatever you do, are you still operating in the same way? because your customers have changed. I used to operate with cosy offices. I've seen them on LinkedIn, people opening up their brand new offices with new logos and branding on the wall and cool things and big sofas and little rooms for wheeling people in for interviews. That model has been going since the early 80s. I started working in 1982 in mortgages, and I used the manager's office, and I wheeled people in, and I sat them at a desk, and I sat one side, they sat the other side. Okay, I didn't have the technology, but we had this machine that could get quotes. It was just the way it was. That same model has been operated now. Why? Customers don't demand that, but providers give it. Mortgage brokers think that's the way to do it. But some customers now don't want to go into your offices and be interviewed by you and stuff like that. They want a new way of operating. Have you surfed the disruption wave? Have you moved with your customers? If you haven't, chances are you'll be fighting for them with the same old weapons that you used to use. Or are you adapting to their wants and needs? Maybe a hybrid, call it what you like. Are you moving with a new way of operating to capture some of your newer customers? Got a lot of first-time buyers coming into the market in the next 6 to 12 months, a lot of them. Generation Rent, we called them. They're young people, generally speaking, under the age of 40. They have different ways of operating. They may not want the way that you currently do it, and if not, they'll go to competitors that are. Yeah, there's startups and fintech doing it. A lot of them are just burning cash, not actually doing an awful lot. The traditional mortgage broker is there to gain the foothold of first-time buyers. It's about change. It's up to you. But there you are. I wish Tesco's and Reach Fitness, Interflora, Mitsubishi, all these people wish they'd have changed to keep the customer that's moved elsewhere. Just makes you think, doesn't it? Yeah, my car, 5,000 miles in 2 years, amazing. Signed up a lease agreement for that. I think I'll get rid of it. But there we are, sitting outside there doing nothing. Must find a way of dealing with that. Anyway, enough of that. Hope that's been useful.